Welcome to Diverse Dialogues, the podcast where we deliver deep into real conversation that matter. I'm Tendai Madume, and on this show, we explore the diverse experience, culture, and perspective that shape our world. Each episode, we bring together voice from all walks of life to discuss topics ranging from community issues, social justice, and identity to arts, culture, and beyond. It's about understanding and celebrating what makes us unique while discovering the threads that connect us all. So whether you are tuning in to learn, to reflect, or to be inspired, this is the space for open dialogue, respect, and growth. Let's get started.
Yes, what up, people? It's your boy here, Boo Boo. Welcome to the show, Diversity Dialogues. This is Ptown Radio. Tendai Madume as usual on a Friday. You see me here every Friday. I'm here and I'm buzzing today because I'm in the studio with the special guest. But before we get into that, don't forget to follow us on Ptown Radio on our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and all sorts. We are here at Union Street in Plymouth, and today I've got a very interesting conversation I'm going to have here with my colleague who is also in the building with me. But before we get into that as well, I'm going to put a disclaimer out that the conversation we're going to have today is strictly not the views done by Ptown Radio. They're only views done by myself and my guest, and also some of the subject might be distressing for young people, so make sure that we'll try to not to listen when young people are around. It's going to be a very educational conversation, and openly and very frank conversation I'm going to have here with my guest. Raina, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
Yes, and how you been?
Yeah, you know, getting ready. I'm excited about coming to the radio.
Yes.
And learning from someone like you.
Yes.
Professional, that.
Yes.
So, you know.
I like the way you say professional. I wish I take myself like that. Let's dive into it. Who is Raina?
Oh, wow. Well, I say I'm still finding that out, but I've been a lot of people, but not through choice, you know.
Yeah.
I think in my life I've had to become somebody else to survive in that environment.
Let me put it out there to people that are listening to us right now. We're going to be discussing. Raina is going to be doing a show for us here, Ptown Radio. That's how our conversation started. She's going to come and join the Ptown Radio family, which we are looking forward to that a lot. But she's bringing in something very different to our radio station. She's going to have a show called Women Unlocked with Raina Dawn coming up every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. here at Ptown Radio from the 10th of October. So don't forget to check that out until the 12th of December. It's a 10 episodes series where she'll be talking about the women in prison.
Yeah, not just women in prison, but there is a lot of criminal aspects to it, but it's women that have been like in the mental health,
yes,
drug addiction, you know.
Yes.
Diverse problems, you know. There's a lot of issues that we're going to cover, but
that's correct. Yes, let's dive into your personal experience. I mean, I was talking to you earlier on, and I find it fascinating how much, and not only that, you're also passionate to get information out there to people through your experience.
Yeah.
Just break it down a little bit, Raina, for me. Your experience before I ask you further questions of what happened. Just give me your experience from. I mean, I'm going to start from the age of 12.
Well, 12 was definitely a critical time in my life.
Yeah.
It was when I was most in need of support, which was I didn't receive. My mum was a drug addict. She was a heroin addict, and she'd been on alcohol and drugs most of my life. So it's something normal. But it was escalating, and she'd gone on to more harder drugs. And she offered to move in some drug dealers so she could get paid in drugs, and then they would sell from the house, you know. So that kind of, it changed everything.
Yes.
My mum started going out more, and she wasn't in. She was obviously hard in her addiction. But I was there, and there was young boys there, you know, running drugs, 18 years old, probably most of them.
Yeah.
And they offered to help me make money for my sisters.
Yeah.
Who were 12 and 10 at the time.
Yeah.
And I was asked by them. They said, "Look, if you need money, we can see how your mum is. Like, we're going to use." We can use you to sell. If we can teach you what to do, we can give you the drugs and you can go out and you can make money for yourself. And I was like, well, I didn't have any other option. I had two little sisters that were hungry. I didn't know what else to do, I accepted, and they taught me, how to carry a large amount of heroin and crack in my mouth, in wrapped up, obviously. And I spent most of my days sat in parks, sat in the woods, walking around, meeting people, walking to far, like I spent all day walking around, It was tiring, I was just here, there, everywhere,
Yeah.
But it was dangerous. I got robbed a few times, because this drug is very highly addictive, so I've been robbed, I've been robbed with machetes, samurais, like people dressed in balaclavas have rushed in the house where I was at and robbed me and things like that. So
it was really tough, and in all this you're very young.
Yeah.
And should we say that's what led you into prison, or there's more things like that?
I think
that
it
happened.
obviously added to it. I mean, my mum's addiction wasn't getting better. That's all. My sister got taken into care eventually.
Yeah.
Thank God, because they didn't have to witness that. But I ran back to my mum because I was the oldest. I wouldn't leave. I didn't want to leave my mum. So I always ran back to her. I think seeing my mum. Something happened and my mum didn't pay the bill for the drugs.
Yeah.
And I saw she was sexually assaulted by 3 men in front of me, held down.
Wow.
I used as a punishment, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously that was very traumatising.
I can imagine, yeah.
So I grew up with seeing my mum abused a lot by men.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that was just something different. But after that I had this anger, for men and for men that hit women and for men that were abusive.
Yeah.
And I was out one night and, my friend was in an abusive relationship and she just grabbed my arm and she saw her boyfriend walking down the road. She grabbed my arm, she said, please, don't let him hurt me. And I was like, no, that's fine. Anyway, I think they started rowing and he grabbed her. I ended up getting involved. He ended up getting hurt quite badly. I was... So I went to prison. That's
how you end up for being in prison. I mean, we do hear a lot of people talking about trauma, and I'm really, really happy that you've come out on the other side and you're brave enough and you're going to give back to the community. Tell me through the injustice that happens when you are into a criminal injustice. You're really going to be talking about in your show.
Yeah.
Just break it down a little bit. Some of the experience that you have felt whilst you are going through from the time you were taken to prison and things you probably saw in there.
Yeah. Wow. Prison became a big part of my life. I mean, everyone takes it differently. For someone like me, if you ask them what was prison like, they'll say, I liked it better than my life outside because that I went from having no routines, no people that cared for me, to having a bed, 3 meals a day. That part was good for me. Obviously, it is a negative place. The people. I'm not saying everyone in there is negative. But most of the people, there's people in there that will take advantage of other people, other women. There's fights and I don't think it's the right kind of place for women, anyone, men, to change and to try and become better people. So
you're basically saying you don't think, being taken to prison as a punishment, that's not what the prisons are actually doing. They're making people probably worse.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I understand the need for punishment, of course, and I understand the need for the public to feel safe. That's got to happen, and people need to be locked away to do that. But there's a level of women that are going to prison and men that are not high risk, that are low risk, that are going to prison, and then mothers being taken away from their children losing their homes, going to prison for shoplifting because she can't afford to pay for the food, and then you send her to prison and she loses her home, she loses her kids. So now she's not in prison thinking about how can I change my life? How can I be a better person? She's thinking, I've lost my children, I've lost my home. So when she gets out, she's now got to fight for her kids again. She's now got to fight for her home again. And how much time does that take up our services?
Yeah.
How much money do we put into that service?
Yeah.
And I think the money that we're putting into prisons is wasted.
Yeah.
Because it could be used in putting it into like community charities that work with people more closely in the community, work with women, work with men, on a more personal level, can give them the kind of support that they need, that instead of all this hassle of going to prison when there's no need for it. I don't think.
You don't think, yeah. And you are suggesting, woman, you believe it's better to do some rehabilitation centers more than prison. For lesser crimes, for example.
I think
so people where they can go and do like knitting, cookery, teach them something, so they can occupy their mind learning more than, like you just mentioned here, shoplifting. Sometimes many people don't do shoplifting because they want to. Sometimes it could be really clearly that they can't afford and things have gone to that extent.
Yeah.
And some of it is mental health. We did touch about mental health.
Yeah.
How does mental health fit in prison? Do they have?
I think
because it's really big right now since COVID, mental health. But I don't know how exactly that. Does the prisons helps?
I can. I think prisons are hard anyway, and then they're being used as mental health facilities because the people, you get someone, say someone's shoplifting or doing whatever because of their mental health behaviour, it's part of their illness, and then they get in trouble because of it, right? The system doesn't know what to do with them, so they say, right, let's send them to prison. So now they're being locked up on a daily basis because of they're not well and they're not getting the treatment they need, they're not getting the support they need. I've seen how prisons deal with people with mental health, and they used to just lock the door. They don't care. They haven't got, and the ones that do care, don't know what to do because they haven't got the skills, they haven't got the training needed to help these people. And it's disgusting. I saw a lot of women banged up, a lot of women that I know, and some of them have killed themselves eventually.
Yeah.
Because of not being able to cope with the treatment of being locked in every day when they need, they need medication, they need support, they need mental health help.
When I was talking to you earlier, you said you're not from Plymouth.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
I was born in Eastbourne.
Eastbourne?
Yeah.
Where's Eastbourne?
Oh, God. That's... I don't even know. I didn't live there for long, but I was born in Eastbourne. It's down, like, the south coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you said you're Reading more. Reading is more your place. And tell me, how do you end up in Plymouth then?
When I came out of prison, I wanted a fresh start, and I thought... and I knew that down here is always, like, pretty and nice, and I thought... Let's go down there.
Yeah, and tell me the aftermath. Let's talk about after days, weeks, month out of prison. How was it like for you?
Wow.
Try to fit in again, of course, clearly. I mean, I don't think we mentioned how long you've been in there.
I was in 13 years altogether.
13 years, yes. So imagine just the first week or first day.
Yeah.
Whoa, here we are.
Everything was so fast. I felt I nearly got run over a few times, probably. I can't. Everything was so fast. It was manic, and I didn't feel like I fit in. I locked myself away. My mental health went downhill. I'm still... The mad thing is they keep you locked in for all this time and make out it would be so bad if you were released, but then when you are ready to get released, they're like, okay, so just get out and get on with your life, and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah, what's next? Yeah, 13 years is a long time. Yeah,
do benefits. I didn't know how to get a job. I didn't know how to get a house.
Yeah,
I hadn't been taught that stuff because I went in. I'd literally just turned 18 years old when I went to prison. Yeah, and I didn't learn any of them things. And they don't even teach that stuff in prison.
So they don't do like a pre-release sessions or anything.
No. And I'd been in there so long, and I thought they'd at least give you a basic rundown, you know, but no.
Do you get like a social worker when you leave?
Yeah, I had a probation officer.
Probation officer, that's the word.
Yeah.
Social worker,
yeah, no, they do try and support you. I mean, like, but they change them so much. You get one, and then you get, like, a relationship built with that one, and then you start like learning that they're changing the probation officer, then you've got to start all over again with another probation officer, and I'm not. They're so overworked and they've got so many people that they have to look after that I understand that it's hard, you know, and, you know, sometimes you're not able to see the problems that might go on or whatever, you know, so I understand, but it is, I did have that support, but I didn't feel that it gave me any help. It didn't, you know, say go here, go there. I didn't feel like it supported me in the right way.
Let's talk about now, I know you've come through Women for...
Gifted women.
Gifted women. Yes. How did you encounter them? How did you meet? How did you meet with?
Well, I was doing probation, and I think one of the probation officers mentioned about a charity in Cornwall. Sorry, I was trying to remember the name. I've forgotten it now on the top of my head.
Yeah, that's okay.
Women's Centre Cornwall. That's it. And they referred me to Gifted Women and to Jenny, and the rest is history. I did the course, but it was so supportive. It was the first time I felt listened to, the first time I felt like no one judged me. Yeah. And that I was accepted no matter what. No one asked me, what did you do? I just was brought in, treated like everyone else. And my confidence started to grow. And I started to realise, like, I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I don't, you know, there's so many young people out there right now that haven't got the right parents, haven't got the right support, that might be, you know, being scooped up by drug dealers. It's happening, you know, exploitation's a big thing.
That's correct.
And it's happening everywhere. And I just want to be a voice for all those little 12-year-olds that I wish someone had come to me and said, come this way, you know, let's walk down this road, not that way. Yeah. But instead, when I needed support the most, I was greeted by a drug dealer. So I don't want that to happen to our young people. And
you're going to, clearly, like we talked, you're going to have a show here on Ptown Radio, and your way of giving back to the community and also for yourself, you know, like I understand you just mentioned that when you left prison, you don't get a manual of life. No. After being there, like you said, for 13 years as well, things have changed. COVID have come and passed whilst probably you're inside. Yeah. Am I correct, or you're out already?
No, I was out. Luckily,
you're out. Yeah. So many things have happened anyway between that you've missed out, and suddenly you're just out in the world and just get on with it.
Well, it took me this amount of time to even, you know, go to Gifted Women, go to, you know, I locked myself away for like a few years. Yeah. And wasn't able to mix, wasn't able to tell my story, wasn't able to come out because I was so institutionalised and felt like I wasn't good enough. I thought I don't deserve a chance at life, and everyone's going to judge me, everyone's going to see me and look at me and think, oh God, who's this, you know, and not worth it.
You mentioned the word institutionalised there, which is a very interesting word, because do you think somehow prisons are also made for people to be in a circle? Yeah. Where you go in, you come out, you go back in, you come out. Do you think that's literally?
There's definitely a cycle. Yeah. I mean, we called them part-time lifers when I was in there. There was people that came in and out, you know. Oh, it's Christmas, they'll be back, you know, because we know that some people, you know, around Christmas time, cold, when they're on the streets, and use it because it's warm and they need food. And, that shouldn't be happening, you know. People sometimes see it as a better option and use it just to go back and get clean or get well and then go back out ready for summer, you know. Yeah.
Let's talk positive.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk positive. Tell me something right now that is very positive in your life since you've left prison, and I can clearly, don't mention Ptown Radio because that's very positive. Yeah. I'm looking forward to listen to your show, but I want to hear something positive that you think, Tendai. Life, yes, has been bad, but there's A, B, C, D that I'm looking forward to, or I'm doing, you know, with Gifted Women as well and everything. Tell me something positive that is happening in your life right now.
Well, everything that I'm doing now, you know, getting the fact that I've got a platform to tell my story, the fact that people are giving me that opportunity. But it's not for me. Like, I understand I'm being interviewed today, but my passion and my motivation is other women. Yes. You know, I want to get their stories out here. I want their realities to be heard, you know. I want them to have that platform, and because some of these people spent their lives not being heard and had to hide their stories, you know, hide their pain. And I want them to be a voice for other people that are out there right now that feel like they haven't got the strength to speak up.
Yeah.
You know, I want to stand for all the women that can't for themselves.
Yeah.
And that is what's pushed me through every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Tell us about your show. That's coming up.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, it starts on Thursday. It's called Women Unlocked. I'm going to have some amazing women on. From all different walks of life, but they've all got their own unique story, they've all got their own unique pain, and I give them that platform to share it, and I hope that we can get the conversation building on how we can make things better, you know, like if it's to get the conversation started, to get people hearing the realities of what really, you know, some of these women go through, because, you know, they don't, and they've never had that chance before to be able to get their voice out there, to get their side of the story, and I want to give them that platform to speak, and so we can start changing.
Yes, narrative change. Yes, thank you very much,
thank you,
Raina, for coming here and share the wonderful story on here on Ptown Radio. My name is Tendai Madume, and I hope to meet and listen to your show right now on Thursday.
You better be listening.
I will be tuned in. Yes, definitely. And until next time, have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, and I just want to big up Jenny. You better be smiling right now.
Yes,
okay,
yes. She just gave us a text and says we are sounding very good. So
Cool,
thank you very
cool.
much. Stay tuned, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care, guys.